Hey everybody, we're back with more Digital Devil Saga. And while I remember, let me move the channel. There, that's probably okay. That's that. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. I'm playing Digital Devil Saga, because I didn't really feel like doing anything today. So we're playing something I'm just going to be comfortable with. Yeah. Fun RPG. So let's have some fun. Alright. Well, that's something. Alright, how far back will we have to go? You have an oxygen tank? Oh, so the solar noise is actually going to mean something now? Because that thing up in the top left is solar noise. In general, the Shin Megami Tensei games tend to have phases of the moon that will progress as you move around, and what that generally means is when it's a full moon, the enemies tend to be more excited, which means a couple of things. Firstly, you can't negotiate with them. I don't think it was until... Okay. I don't think it was until Strange Journey that you could actually negotiate with demons on a full moon. And that required a special app for it. An app for your Demonica. But it's something that's always a little mystifying with Digital Devil Saga, the fact that they've got... No, that's not good. They've got the solar noise, and it doesn't seem to mean anything for battle. Yeah, we should probably get out of here. Okay. Nope, it's fine.
Okay, you asked for it.
I forgot we're pretty low on stuff, but I do remember that I wanted to use noise to recover. Because I might as well get use out of them and they're going to boost stats anyway. Anyway. The ice. Definitely not force. Electricity. Definitely not electricity. Earth? Not Earth. Fire. It's not fire. I don't know. But I think the important thing to do for now is sort everybody out. There we go. Yeah. Alright, so... let's keep moving. Halfway there. Alright, see where this goes. That'll lead me back. There are fights underwater? What is this? Final Fantasy X? And then do a Mazionga. And then eat this one. And eat this one. And then just hit this one. That's how you take care of business. Almost at max with Holy Beast for Surf, which means we won't have to worry about eating anything because we'll have Iron Stomach. Which means we won't get a stomach ache. I feel like it's going to take me back. Oh, here's hoping. Well, we made it to the end. Unfortunately, we made it just out of time. So it's a puzzle with a limited number of moves. It just makes you do it by moving yourself. Which, as an idea, something games were all over doing back in the day. It's like when we started Skies of Arcadia, regardless of just how good Skies of Arcadia is, it's from an era where games would be slower. And the same is true of this. I don't know why, but the slow, when it starts off with the low-key version of the battle theme, when it goes into the that always gets me hyped. And it's such a simple thing. And give you a Zionga. And then give everybody a Zionga. Nobody's frightened. And then do another Mazionga. Holy Beast? Holy Beast. Consume Hellfang, AP Divide, and Iron Stomach. Let's set some of those. Consume. Replace Devour. From light damage to heavy damage with only an extra 10 HP cost. Elf. Iron Stomach? Definitely want that. That's good. Let's replace Zanma with it. because we're not getting much use out of Zanma at the moment. But now it means we can hunt without having to worry about a bad stomach, which is the best result, because that's the main reason to worry about hunting. Oh boy, a big one. Is that Fornius? That's Fornius. It's still weak to lightning though, so... And now it's shocked, which means I don't even have to spend MP for this. Came out like a big dick G, and then he just didn't have anything. I've gone the wrong direction. Yeah. You. And because I've gone in the wrong direction, I'm gonna have to count this. You know what? Let's head back and change mantras. Since the save point's right there, let's might as well do this anyway. And pick this up. New mantra. What do we get for Godly Beast? What is this? Devourer, Demon Beast, Holy Beast, Godly Beast. 300,000. Insatiable, Mind Scream, Atma bonus. Atma bonus is probably really good, and then we end up with that. But first... Shared Karma. Or just go all the way out and get Mutual Karma. I think that'll work. That'll have a, It'll be one of those things where the sooner we get that, the more effective it'll be. On everybody. Combine that with Iron Stomach and I think it'll really work out. Alright, let's go back in. Make sure I go the right way this time. It's a good thing that Maka really... Maka? Saying that out loud always sounds weird. Good thing that Maka really isn't a concern anymore. And then straight ahead. And then again. So at most you can mess up twice, I guess. Wonder where that takes you. Let's find out. That was way less interesting than I expected. I thought I'd be like, oh, is this gonna lead to a secret and be really interesting? No. Nope. Alright, let's try again. Okay, put the oxygen tank on. Take a drink. Ah, crap, the cabras. God damn it. Alright, that works out at least. Zio. Do a Mazionga. Yeah, physical's better for them. Forgot about that. Damn. And transform. And just hit them. Oh no. Fire. My one weakness. Oh no, death magic. Okay, great. You're not gonna get a chance to do that again. It's dead. Okay, and we'll have Argilla heal, because she's not in combat, and isn't using her MP for anything else. Okay, so that leads there, that's gotta lead around there, that leads there, that'll lead there. Which means, yeah, this is the only possible exit. The worrying thing is, if you look at the map location, it says we're in Water Pump A. So we can look forward to another one of these, at least. At least another one. Alright, let's get out of here. It's probably Looper. Alright. Well, there's a body. Oh, is that a big terminal? Mothman. Reserve. Yes. And then just smack, smack, sugar smack. Stop using my weakness. Alright. Okay, so master that just as we approach a save terminal. It's A-OK because we can replace it now. Zanma, replace. You don't have that. Aikdi, I guess. Because with everybody, with the intention of putting everybody on Iron Stomach, we're not going to need Aikdi anymore. I'm sorry. The body was mercilessly torn to pieces and left for dead. Was it torn to pieces? Big save terminal. Gonna give you the munchies. Holy beast. Ice leader, ice leader. Holy beast soul. Heal up everybody. Should have saved, but I want to finish off the 2 ice leaders because they're going to be pretty quick. So we'll come back. Oh, that's a dead end. We'll go that way and then we'll come back to the save terminal. It works out. Gotta watch out for Mothman. Because it'll pull stuff like that. Purpose is the purpose speech, the purpose monologue that Smith does from The Matrix Reloaded, and Why Mr. Anderson gets you the Why Mr. Anderson speech that Smith does in The Matrix Revolutions. How you doing, Bane? Okay, so Gale finished. Okay. Alright. Four of the rare chests there, at least one of them is gonna be... Yeah. At least one of them is gonna be a monster encounter. So you need to watch at least the first Matrix movie. Just for its relevance in cinema. Not too bad. Wasn't really in the mood for a lot to do tonight. So we're doing more Digital Devil Saga instead of doing more Project Zero. It's like, I feel like Project Zero isn't gonna go down well. There we go, now do auto. Nice. Alright. 2. Okay, it's a cell, and... T-shirt is Metroid. Samus atop her gunship, and the actual picture itself is in the shape of the visor. Poison Hunters in Code Veronica can go fuck themselves. There you go. Oh, here we go. Awesome. Organ. I stand by that. Poison Hunters can fuck themselves. Not ice. Wind. It's fire. Alright. Yeah, I have like 3 Metroid t-shirts. It's a good quote. To be fair, when you actually decide to take shit that I've said, it's usually something good. Okay, let's see what Consume does, what the heavy damage is. Oof. Nice. Excuse me. Magic. Put that up. Full health. Yeah, I have like 3 Metroid t-shirts. And they're all currently in the cycle at the minute, the cycle of shirts that I wear. Yeah. Okay, Mothman is frightened. And then eat Mothman. And then just punch the other one to death. Yeah, that's 2 Ice Leaders mastered. We can throw them both onto Holy Beast now. I don't know where my Zelda t-shirts have gone. They'll be somewhere. Okay, Holy Beast. It's in everybody's interest not to get a stomachache. Oh, you don't even have Demon Beast. Shit. Yeah, I've been seeing stuff about that. Yeah. Soon it'll be the birthday of the Final Fantasy IX strategy guide that was released in the West that had very little details and told you to go to the website to find more. Because, you know, Squaresoft, in its dying days before it merged with Enix, was so full of great ideas. Like, seriously. Well, you're gonna get a chance to put that magic to use. Because you're dead. I have the guide itself as a PDF file. Just out of curiosity. I actually had physically the official FF7 guide. And I think I mentioned during Final Fantasy VIII, I have a Final Fantasy VIII pocketbook guide up on the shelf behind the camera. Hello! Oh well, that suggests we're gonna have to fight Looper as he forgets everything that's going on and gives into the beast. It's a bird! Yeah. Alright. And then do a Mazionga. And... kill. Awesome. Yeah, I managed to pick up a bunch of old strategy guides as PDFs. Got most of them on my phone at the minute. Let me pull out some choice titles that I got. Alundra, Parasite Eve, Disgaea, Disgaea 2, Dragon Quest 8, Dragon Quest 6, Final Fantasy 1 and 2, Dawn of Souls, Final Fantasy 4 Advance, Final Fantasy 9, that's the one, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, I believe. Yeah, Tactics Advance, 5 Advance, 7, the Brady Games official one. Brady Games official 8, Fire Emblem for Game Boy Advance, Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, Lunar Silver Star Harmony, Metal Gear Solid official mission handbook, I'm not sure what that is. Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance, Snake Eater, Persona Q, Phantom Brave, Resident Evil Totally Unauthorized Guide by Brady Games, RE2 by Brady Games, RE2 by Game Fan Books, RE3 by Brady Games, Saga Frontier, Secret of Evermore, Skyrim, Tales of the Abyss, Vagrant Story, and Valkyria Chronicles. They're the ones that I have as PDFs. I wonder if there was ever an official guide for Skies of Arcadia. I used to have a bunch, actually, physically, but they got thrown out a few years back, which was a shame. I had the official Final Fantasy VII strategy guide, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, Lord of the Rings Return of the King, and I don't remember what else. I had a few. Hey Charisma, how you doing, buddy? How'd Devil May Cry go for you last night? This is a PS2 RPG. Take a look at the DualShock 2. Look at that. You remember the DualShock 2 with its wire? It's PS2 RPG. Was he completely ripped apart though? Was he? That's interesting that they do both versions in one book. 2 shocks, 1 controller. Well, it's good to see that you're enjoying V. I wasn't overly into V. Nero ended up being my standout favourite in 5. Like, more so than Dante as well. Although I will say I love the Balrog weapon that Dante has. That one. That's probably my most fun of the punch weapons in the series. Like, my favourite of them. Like, Beowulf is great in 3. Gilgamesh in 4 is pretty good. Ifrit is okay in 1. But Balrog was fantastic. I feel like a big part of my problem with using V... God damn it. I feel like a big part of my problem with using V is... probably the camera. I feel like the camera doesn't really fit for that game style. That sounds good. You keep pushing forward, you might finish it tonight. Devil May Cry 5 is good. I need to get to it for the stream. There's a few months ago we did 3 and 4. And my intention was to do stuff like Bayonetta and the reboot and Metal Gear Rise and then get to 5. And we've just not done that yet. That's like an adult film star. Where does this go? Ooh. Bayonetta is great. I love Bayonetta. I love how Bayonetta 2 tops Bayonetta though. Like, Bayonetta 1 is over the top, Bayonetta 2 pushes it further and it's amazing. I love it. Like, when Bayonetta 2 was first announced as exclusive to the Wii U, I was like, why? Nobody's going to play it on Wii U. And then it came out that nobody would actually fund Bayonetta 2 except Nintendo. And at that point it was a case of like, well, fair enough. Nintendo paid for the game when nobody else would. And so at that point, it's like, fuck you, Sega, I guess. The only people you can be mad at is Sega. Because, like, Sega still owns it. And Nintendo has to go through Sega to get to Platinum to make another one. But in the end, it's Sega who gets the control of it. Something like that. I'm going to assume that's the way forward, so I'm going to head this way. Yeah. I will say though, Bayonetta 2 is sweet. A lot of fun. And thankfully now it's on Switch as well, which more people own than a Wii U. So, Though, I will say one of my big complaints with it on Switch is the price. Like, just buying Bayonetta 1 on its own on Switch is more expensive than buying the 10th Anniversary Edition that came out recently. Which is ridiculous. It's more expensive to buy Bayonetta on its own on Switch than it is to buy the Bayonetta Vanquish 10th Anniversary bundle on PS4 or Xbox. I have a key for this. Nice. It didn't come from that way. Is this the way forward? Yeah, Bayonetta 2 is great. I'm looking forward to Bayonetta 3. I'm hoping we're eventually going to get some news on it. It's like actually relevant to the topic at hand, because we're playing a Shin Megami Tensei game, we're talking about Bayonetta, and I'm wearing a Metroid t-shirt. 3 Switch games that were announced in 2017 that I really want, but we've seen nothing of. Bayonetta 3, Metroid Prime 4, Shin Megami Tensei 5. And we've heard nothing of any of them since they were announced. Except, there was that one bit, like, Metroid Prime 4, they announced they've restarted development a couple of years back. Shin Megami Tensei 5, we've not really heard anything about, and in the Kickstarter for the Wonderful 101, Hideki Kamiya said that Bayonetta 3 is still in development, and that's all the details we've got on any of them. So, you can hope, but I don't know. I was really hoping that the rumour about Metroid Prime Trilogy for the Switch was going to be true, and like that was over a year ago when that was supposed to be announced. So that's disappointing. That just never happened. Really don't like curse. It's an irritating status effect. What do we got over here? Awesome. Awesome, that means we can put Cielo down for Holy Beast. Awesome. Will you enjoy your lunch, Mr. Charisma? It's unclear what this is. Like, really unclear. But we're learning. Slowly but surely, we're learning what's going on. Very unclear. Well, it's more unclear for you because you haven't been here for... like 20 hours. So like that makes sense that it's unclear for you. If you have the option of playing on PS2 though and you're into RPGs, recommend this. This is Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga. Totally recommended. But you enjoy your lunch, Mr. Charisma, and we'll catch you later. You take care, buddy. I need to head back to a save point. And I'm worried... You haven't been in there. Yeah, it's fair enough. They're not for everybody, and you look at something like this, and you can understand why. If you're into it, it's fantastic. If you're not, what can you do? Was that a fake door? Take care, buddy. Catch you later. Catch you later. No, because I haven't saved a little bit, and I want to keep exploring a bit. Oh, there's a save point right here. It makes me wonder, what did I miss on the other side? Well, I get Cielo learning Holy Beast. How far are we? Almost halfway, yeah. Alright. It's great having money in RPGs because it means you can buy stuff. It's great having money in RPGs without having to grind for it. $20 hours and 5 minutes. It's definitely the mark of a good RPG when you're 20 hours into it and all you want is to just keep going. Just want to keep going. Don't want to quit. You want to see what happens. You want to keep going. You're enjoying the battles. Good stuff. Definitely recommend that. Am I going forward or am I going on a side path? I really wish this was clearer. Okay, this is a side path. So I said last time in particular that like when we're done with this, it'll be a while before we do Digital Devil Saga 2. Yeah, nice. 20 hours. Not counting a couple of the game overs we had. Forge shot on 20, nice. Yeah, Digital Devil Saga as RPGs go isn't super long. The consensus is generally that Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2 are kind of like half RPGs each. Like both half the standard length. but if you take them as one game together, which story-wise they kind of are, then you end up with a standard-length JRPG. But yeah, that brings us back to the point I was gonna make, where I got a little bit sidetracked. It can feel longer. Like, we've been doing this for 50 minutes now, and I remember looking at it when we were 17 minutes in, and thinking, I feel like we've done way more than 7. I feel like we've done way more than 17 minutes. But yeah, generally, Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga 2 continues straight off from the end of this game. And I said last time that we'll probably give it a little while after finishing this before we go into the second one. I'm gonna turn around now and say it depends on how eager I am when I finish this to jump into the next one. We'll have to see. Because we've got other stuff to do, but I might just say fuck it and go straight for the second one, depending on how I feel. It's like they're intended as a solid duology anyway. There's a presence behind that door that says that that's probably a boss or a major encounter. And if this is the way forward, then what was all of that? Pressed the wrong button. I meant to press down and X, and down just didn't happen. Okay, so we got that, so now I want shared karma, which is soul. But generally with RPGs, sometimes you can lose track of how long you've been playing, depending on the enjoyment. Sometimes it feels like longer. It's not feeling like longer isn't necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, you get kind of burnt out. It's like you got so many games to do. And RPGs can be so long. That's this way, isn't it? Yes, alright. The RPGs can be so long, and it can burn you out. There is the concern that, like, we started Persona 3 and we need to go back and finish Persona 3. But we're like 3 sessions into Persona 3, and Persona 3 is gonna be probably over 15 sessions. So that's kind of daunting. It's not that it's bad, it's just kind of daunting. I hope the Persona games get... Oh, fuck. I hope the Persona games get re-releases on modern consoles. Like Persona 4 Golden came out on PC. And it's like, great. That's really good. Can we get them on modern consoles as well? Like PS4, Switch? Probably Xbox as well, because there's not really a reason to leave them out. It's like, okay, so Yakuza is on Xbox. I think Persona can be on Xbox as well. God, that reminds me of the thing last year it was. Atlas teasing announcements for Persona. It's like Persona 5S. What is it? You'll have to tune in to find out. And it's like, what is Persona 5S? It's not a Switch port of Persona 5, it's Persona 5 Dynasty Warriors coming to Switch. And also PS4. Like, who bloody Ray? I'm so excited. I say as I sit here having not actually finished Hyrule Warriors. There we go. Like, you're talking in terms of like PS1, maybe PS2 classics. Yeah, America did get way more than we did. Like, America had Resident Evil 2 and 3 for years before we got them. That was weird. Suikoden 1 took ages to come out on the PSN over here. Which was frustrating. We eventually did, like, America had it for ages. We eventually did get Persona 1, Suikoden 1. When Konami was finally like, yeah, we're going to put Suikoden 2 on the PSN. And they put Suikoden 2 on the US and European PSN, and also gave us Suikoden 1 to go with it. Ah, God, bugger off, I don't like you. Well, it's the thing with just, like, classic systems backwards compatibility in total. Nintendo's really dropping the ball. That is weird. But there's also the case of, like, PS2 classics on PS3 were really dodgy. There's a big part of the reason, I've said it before, big reason why we're playing this on PS2 and not PS3. Nintendo's really dropping the ball with the Switch Online service instead of having a virtual console option. Sony just completely dropping PS1 support and barely having PS2 support. It's like, okay, PS2 classic support on PS4 is good. It's good stuff. Shame there's not much on it. Off, man. Come on. Damn it. Oh, well, that really doesn't matter. I'd already pressed the button to just hit you. Like, there's just the complete lack of interest in actually putting out some way to play these older games on modern systems is incredibly disappointing. Oh yeah, Rogue Galaxy, Wild Arms 3, Parappa the Rapper 2. There are a few good ones there that were really surprising. But it's also, like you say, it's a very limited selection. And that's kind of a problem. Damn, I was really hoping that would actually finish it. And it is the case, like, the PS2 classics on PS3 are pretty good. Definitely better than what was on PS3, because they actually work as intended. It's kind of a shame that Sony's charging extra for them for trophy support and 1080p upscaling. But I guess you take what you can get. But they could have done so much more. Like, there's so much on PS2, and it's why I'm probably never going to throw the PS2 away or move past the PS2, because there's so much good on PS2 that exists nowhere else, and we've been given no good way of playing them on modern systems, on anything beyond. Maybe we'll end up at the point where the PS2 ends up like, say, the Super Nintendo or the Mega Drive, where there's an FGPA clone console that'll just play it for you, and we'll put it out in HD, and it looks really nice, and it's all simple and cool and clean to hook up and shit. But if that ever happens, that'll be years down the line. I mean, it's still not happened for the Nintendo 64. And then, even if it does happen, because they're never big effort, they're never big release things, they're always like very small niche ideas. I want Soul next year. Like, they'll be hard to find and they'll be super expensive. And probably not available in Europe, because fuck Europe, I guess. That was the main thing that kept me from getting a Super NT. The fact that I'd have to import one. Otherwise, I would have ended up getting one. It probably wouldn't have even been worth it, but I would have ended up getting one. Where does this take me? Yeah, I remember seeing that, and that was back before I had my N64 solution sorted. And I was thinking to myself, that's probably going to be what I end up going with. And then I don't think I ever heard anything else about it. There's also the concern of Hyperkin's... What would be the word? History, I guess? Full Karma when not in battle. When is Surf not in battle? That might have been a waste. But given Hyperkin's history, particularly with stuff like the Retron 5, where it was an emulation system and it had serious compatibility issues. It sounds too good to be true, even if it ever does come out. And Hyperkin doesn't exactly have a good reputation with this shit now. Like, Hyperkin's video cables, for the most part, are not particularly great. Usually a budget solution. Yeah, I remember you saying, and I do think you're probably just better off. Because you wanted it to play your Super Famicom games, you're probably better off just picking up a Super Famicom. Cheaper, more reliable. Or if you're really going to get the use out of it, see about trying to grab a Super NT. I know they're not region locked. Come on, don't die. Sweet. Well, Hyperkin's reputation was pretty good at one point, but I feel like they've had a lot of misses. And it's not done well for them. I think it probably did begin with the Retron 5. Like, that was the big problem. You have looked at the Super Famicom. I imagine they probably weren't expensive several years ago. Nowadays, who knows? Went to a friend's house once with a bunch of guys. We sat around and he had a Super Famicom. We played some Super Famicom games. He was really big on Super Tennis because it was the main thing he could beat us at. But he also had Turtles in Time, which was pretty neat. Also had a Famicom. That's like the only time I've actually played on a Famicom. It's interesting, but not worth going out your way for. Okay, and attack. And eat. I don't know. Let's see, what do we got? HP MP drain. Spell magic. I'm not really into hammer. I can believe that because that was true of the Nintendo 64. I've gone over this in the past. My Nintendo 64 is a Japanese N64. I got it on eBay for £20 because it was just the cables. And I looked into it before I bought it. You just plug the PAL cables in. Because the little box that you plug into the Nintendo 64 is the transformer. All Nintendo 64s take the same voltage. Transformer converts it from whatever you've got into what it requires. And I imagine the Super Nintendo is probably going to be the same. Worked out well for me. What you could do is look into getting a US Super Nintendo, and because the reason the US isn't compatible with Japanese Super Famicom is the shape, but you can physically modify the system. It looks terrible when you do it, but it works. I don't think there's an aesthetically pleasing solution for it, but it works. But of course you can't put in the Japanese cartridges into a European Super Nintendo because of the power difference. Like with the Nintendo 64, the region locking on Nintendo 64 is just 2 little tabs. If you look on the back of your Nintendo 64 cartridges, there are 2 gaps there's a gap on both sides. Where that gap is depends on your region. And it corresponds with 2 plastic tabs inside your Nintendo 64. Rip those tabs out, you've now got a region-free Nintendo 64. I spent a bunch of time looking into this shit, and the end result is video quality for the Nintendo 64 that I'm fairly happy with. Yeah. Super Nintendo video quality is trickier. You can get better video quality out of the Super Nintendo than you can the Nintendo 64. Just because it offers better video quality. But the actual... what video quality is available depends on what revision of Super Nintendo you have. Okay, so this is new. Because I did debate picking up a Super Nintendo, so that whenever we do Super Nintendo games, we're not just emulating them or playing them off the Virtual Console. And I think the end result was a case of it's probably not worth it for me. But I spent a bunch of time looking into all the video options you could get. There's always a case of, like, it always feel... No, I've not had a Super Nintendo in years. Whenever we do Super Nintendo, it's either emulation or Virtual Console. Shit, is this the way forward? Oh, this is a clear dead end. Weird that there's a save point in this dead end. Yeah, there's always a thing I've had of, I think, like, really beginning in the last few years, in the last 5 years or so, of, like, there's just something about playing a game on its original system that is really neat. Like playing this on the PS2 with a DualShock 2. Playing it on an original system with an original controller. Unless the original controller is garbage, like in the case of Dreamcast or the Nintendo 64. But playing off the original system, there's always something about it. These things are weak to something. Was it fire? Yes. I didn't realise Cielo was dead. I was not paying attention. Damn it. Hey. Yeah. But like the Super Nintendo is great. Am I going to get enough use out of it? Is always the question. Picking one up. Picking anything up, really, I guess. I can't set them on fire. God damn it. The nostalgia really isn't it for me. I've said before, the only nostalgia in general kind of wore off for me years ago. And now nostalgia really only hits me in audio cues. Specific music or specific sound gets some nostalgia hits. And that's kind of it. But then again, it's been that long since I played on an original Super Nintendo. But then you've got stuff like the Super Nintendo Mini. There might be a bit of nostalgia with taking a Super Nintendo cartridge, putting it in, turning the system on, and that'd be it. Actually playing with a controller? I don't think so. Because like the Super Nintendo Mini has a Super Nintendo controller, and it's a good controller, it feels really nice. So I don't really know, I guess. God damn it. It's stunned, which would be great because it'd mean guaranteed crits if it wasn't shielded from physical attacks. Yeah, I don't know, I mean... nostalgia just doesn't hit like it used to. There was a point when I got back into GameCube stuff. After being away from it for a long time. That would have been like 5 or 6 years ago. When I finally got back into GameCube stuff. Been away from it for a while. There was a point where that hit my nostalgia, but doesn't really do it anymore. Hey, you want soul? Alright. Look at how far we have to go. It's probably worth it just teleporting back to the big one and fully healing. Yeah, I mean, I guess... nostalgia doesn't hit me that much anymore, because I've spent a lot of time over the past 5 or 6 years. Maybe 8 years or so. Doing the older stuff anyway. And so it's worn off because it's been pretty regular. Doesn't mean stuff isn't good. I've just not been away from a lot of it for a long time now. God damn it. Mutes when I don't want it to, doesn't unmute when I want it to. Yeah, no, what I was saying was, like, you're right about the lack of requiring an update or installation or anything. And, like, Super Nintendo, PS1, Nintendo 64, PS2, GameCube, Xbox, it's the same thing. Like, you can argue controls aren't as refined, you can argue graphics aren't good, which, you look at this, do the graphics need to be better? I feel like the aesthetic is like 90% of this game. And the way it looks is a big part of the visual appeal, that's the big part of the point. And it's like, you know what, I would go back to all this. I'm ready to go back to all of this. Because I am fully expecting consoles to be a problem soon. You look at the way the entire market's going, and I'm expecting to need to do it. And I'm ready for it. I've got so many games on these older systems, on PS1, PS2, GameCube, Nintendo 64, Dreamcast. I've got so many games that I haven't actually played. It's the trick with the backlog. That my backlog is huge, and that affords me the ability to turn around and say, I don't need to buy a new system or a new game for years. A part of that goes back to the... God damn it. Part of that goes back to the thing we talked about on Sunday with the possibility of the cost of games increasing in the next generation. And it's like they might. And maybe they should. But considering the actual quality of a lot of games these days, if I'm going to throw down £60 for a game, I'm probably more willing to throw that down for a PS2 game than I am for a PS5 game. Oh yeah, no, I feel like it's not really fair to talk about... I feel like it's not really fair to talk about the 16-bit aesthetic with that. I feel like it's really not fair to go and say, like, you can go back and play Suikoden or Breath of Fire or, say, Tales of Destiny on PS1. You can go back and play those super easy because they look really nice. It's like, yeah, they have the pixelated graphics. Symphony of the Night's a good example. They've got the pixelated graphics, they did great. The aesthetic is great for them. Being into the low fidelity 3D is something else, because I understand why people have problems getting past that, and I think people should be willing to push past it because there's so much you can see. Getting sick of these guys. But, like, graphics on Super Nintendo, I don't think that's a fair comparison. Because graphics on Super Nintendo, for the most part, looked fantastic. The 16-bit aesthetic was as good as 2D needed to be. It's the thing, like I've said before, I think PS2 era is as good as 3D graphics needed to be. And while, yeah, cool, the graphics have gotten better, this is as good as 3D graphics needed to be. I feel like it's the same with Super Nintendo era. The Super Nintendo is as good as 2D graphics needed to be. But it got better with the PlayStation, with stuff like Symphony of the Night and Breath of Fire. Almost a holy beast. Might as well go up here and grab this one so we can change Cielo's mantra. He's about to level up.
We have the advantage. Proceed.
It becomes kind of the thing, you can complain about that, but I feel like the style of the polygons is a big part of Final Fantasy VII's visual appeal. It wouldn't be right otherwise. Imagine if Final Fantasy VII Remake was just exactly the same, but they removed the pre-rendered backgrounds and it's all 3D and you can move the camera around, and it's full body character models, and it's like, what does that add? I feel like that aesthetic suits the game. You could argue that's nostalgia goggles. It might be. but I feel like the game works around it. I think, like, despite Final Fantasy VIII arguably being a better looking game, I feel like its aesthetic suffers for always being in the full body character models. I suppose the thing is, like, it's not as clean. Final Fantasy VIII's graphics aren't as clean as 7's are, I guess. Like the character models. Maybe that's why visually I like Final Fantasy IX more than 8. Like, just visually. We don't talk about gameplay, we don't talk about music, we don't talk about the story, don't talk about any of that. Visually, I like 9 more than 8. Because it has a much cleaner style, somewhat closer to 7. It's not just that everybody is shorter. Yeah, it's only been an hour and a half. God damn it. God damn it. Would it really be the same without Parachute Pants Sephiroth walking with his arms spread out? I'm going to see my mother. 10 out of 10. Bam. Game of the year right there. Oh, so fucking stupid. I love it. But yeah, no, I do feel like 7's aesthetic is built around it. And visually it is more appealing than 8. We should go back and do more of 7 at some point. A second round of 7. See how much better the entire thing works when you play the original PS1 version, as opposed to the really lazy ass port on PS4 from PC. Like, visually it doesn't look as, like, the actual video quality doesn't look as clean when you play the PS1 classic version versus when you play the PS4 port, but it just works better. You can feel it. If that slap fight isn't in FF7 Remake at any point, I'm going to be very disappointed. It's one of my favourite stupid bits. You know me, I love stupid stuff. But, like, just the fact that Scarlet, she has a soldier with her with a gun, and she decides, no, I'ma slap this bitch, and decides to get into a slap fight with a monk. It's like just the sheer ridiculousness of that. I'm going through a lot of disc curses. I'm gonna have to pick up more. Definitely feel that. Wow, the encounter rate feels high at the minute. I'm getting sick of these fuckers spamming curse. Alright. This curse. Heal. And make a move. We're almost there. Yeah, I'd love to go into a fight without these fucking things. The Carabias. Carabias? I've been calling them Decabras. I'm gonna keep calling them Decabras. Nice. You want to know something we're never going to do with Digital Devil Saga? Take on the super boss. We'd have to play the game again anyway, because you need a New Game Plus file to do it. I don't think we're going to do that. When I say that, I'm just like... I'll play this again at some time. Might even use the New Game Plus file. Not fighting that super boss though. Often considered the hardest super boss in RPGs. Alright, let's finally see what's behind this door. Is it gonna be Looper? Are we gonna fight Looper? We're probably gonna fight Looper. Alright. Fuck you. Alright, let's go. Strange presence. Oh, it's just brutes. Somehow I feel like this isn't going to be a major threat. Oh hey, 3 of them this time. You're weak to ice, right? No. Not lightning. You're weak to something, I know you are. Was it just straight fire? It is, it's fire. Alright. And one more. I'm gonna throw down a med kit. And were you wind? No. So electricity then, probably. And you're not throwing out an element, so I'll have to see about you. There it is, electricity. Okay, so wind, fire, not fair, you're getting 2 turns now. Ice, earth, earth, alright. Not as big a threat as they made themselves out to be. As is often the case. Okay. And onward. It's just a big bird. Okay, so we're on the other side of there. And down there. It's another big bird. Oh boy. Giving healing duties to Argilla when she's not in the party is definitely helping keep our MP up. Hey look, a save point. Run around for a bit and we should fill Ice Wolf. Make this guy frightened, that was even better. Nope. Oh well. Yeah, mastered it anyway. Mabufala and Ice Drain. Skills worth holding on to for a potential problematic boss fight. Let's see. You're 100,000. These all come together. Fireball. Yeah, we're getting a bunch of use out of electricity down here. Oh, that reminds me, we should check this. 100,000, alright. Or the dying levels. It'll be a while before we start walking out for those. We're probably not quite at the point where we need the dying level skills yet. Hopefully. Yeah. To be fair, I don't think we're doing that badly today. If a game requires fast reactions and actual application of skill, oh fuck. And mecha-chrono can't do it, but if it requires thought, and is turn-based, mecha-chrono is on that. Wind, fire, on Cielo. Not helpful. Fire. Not fire. Lightning. Fucking really, Gale? What is wrong with you always missing? How are you dead? Oh, Cielo's dead because you missed. Again. I can't run from this fight. What the fuck is this? I suggest this is actually more than what it appeared. This isn't just a random encounter. Also, that is why I don't like enemies being able to take 2 turns. Because you're always just a dice throw away from being screwed and having nothing you can do about it. Okay. Like that. Oh, he got a crit. This isn't just a problem with Shin Megami Tensei, Dragon Quest does this as well. Well, Cielo's dead. Well, Surf's dead. Oh, well, no, would you look at that. Is this going to actually accomplish anything? Okay, lightning. Okay. Earth. Oh. Considering it kept throwing Earth at us, kind of surprised that was actually its weakness. Alright, this stone. That was a horrible fight. Really was. And threw so many resources there as well. You know what? Let's save after that, definitely. Bum, 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 bum. And a heal terminal, nice. I don't care if the game's going to call it a life terminal, I'm calling it a heal terminal. A lone pixie? A pixie this late in the game? Holy shit. Yeah, a pixie shouldn't be able to cast Megiolodon. That was weird. I don't know how I feel about that. That was weird. At least we know what this thing's weak to now. I feel like being weak to status effects is bullshit. I don't like it. Might as well have just thrown the turn away, it would have done less damage. Really fucking hate confusion. And Surf is still confused. Well, that's that done. Really fucking hate confusion. Fusion and Charm, the worst status effects in any game. Yeah, we get it. They open it in Guilty Gear XX. It's been a while since we had a game over. We were doing well. Then confusion happened and fucked me over 3 turns straight. Try that again, shall we? We came out of that fight fully healed. And we went into that fight at our peak. Coming straight off the life terminal. The only person who suffered any damage since then was Gale had 1 hit point worth of damage done to him. And we went into that fight basically at our peak. That's the exact same location. This is not a random encounter. Yeah, at least he didn't ambush us this time. See how easy it is when you don't get fucked over? For 3 turns straight. Yeah, no, that's the exact same location. That is not a random encounter. Is this the way forward? Because if it is, I want to go back and check what this door is. It's a dick is what it is, Teak. How you doing, buddy? Seriously, hit with confusion. Everybody gets confused. And for 3 turns, it just screws me. So we ended up with a game over. Actually pretty cool over here. It's been raining all day and now it's like 12 degrees. Yeah, like 12 degrees and it's still raining. So it's actually pretty cool over here. It's alright. But no, that fight was like a typical SMT example of you've been doing too well, now die. I hope this isn't progress. And come here for progress. Put up your fire shield, I'm just gonna throw a lightning at you instead. To be fair, confusion did fuck me over 3 turns straight, it was unbelievable. Doesn't matter what game it is, my least favourite status effect is always going to be either Confuse or Charm. Probably both, sometimes to do the same thing. Okay, so this has to be progress. Yeah. But I think I want to go back and check out what that other thing was. Oh no, a giant bird. I'm gonna eat this bird. Nice. Yeah, let's go back and check what that other path was, because this looks like the way forward. Been in the sewers for hours now. Well, I know one of your weaknesses. Guess we just smack the rest of you. feel like this is unnecessary. Look the way it looks on the map as well. Alright, so full heal and we check out that pathway behind the waterfall. I thought this might be progress, leading us to another waterway. But maybe it really is just a hidden path. It's basically impossible to spot unless you're looking at the map. Alright. Ugh. Okay. It'll be another one. I'm surprised this doesn't seem mandatory. Okay, we have 8 turns. Don't. Alright. And that's 2. Right this way. Remember, 8 turns, and then we get kicked out. That's 1. Let's say this way. This is probably wrong because it's pushing me in one direction now. You know, we can't go through either of these, which means we have to go here. Alright, so this way. Where am I? Actually pretty far from the start. And the only way is this. Oh no, not a manta ray. Probably a bad idea to use lightning attacks underwater. Yeah. I suppose the question becomes, is it something I care about? Where do we go? Where do we go now? Where do we go? Ooh, where do we go? Doesn't matter where either of these take us, we're getting kicked back to the start when we're done with this next turn. Yes. This takes longer. Interesting. Weird. That wasn't explained. I guess. So it's all reversed now. Which means I can only go the way I came. Right, this has to have been an objective. Right? It's got to have been an objective. And then this is going a different way.
We have the advantage. Proceed.
Sometimes these puzzles can be confusing. Maybe it's just my state of mind. I was actually really on the ball with the platform puzzles, the moving platforms in the castle. Maybe it's just a state of mind. Maybe I'm just more tired. I don't know. Okay, this way. Okay, so this is 4 more turns. That goes in a direction, pushes out to this direction, that goes in a direction. Try this one. If this doesn't lead to where we need to go, then we're done, we have to start again. Well, we're done, we have to start again. Has it reversed the water gate? And this being more complicated, it's probably going to be optional. Probably going to be the catch. Not that button. Okay, so it has reversed the direction of the water gates. But that water gate had to have been an objective, right? Hmm. Everybody does have iron stomach on, alright. Try this direction then. That leads us to where we were before. Where does this one go? Right, so in the space of 4 turns as opposed to, what was that, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 turns that we had earlier. Oh wait, no, we just can't get to that, damn it. That close. Well, now we're going this way. Hey Clem. How you doing, buddy? Mid-2000s JRPG puzzles. I think you understand. I think you'll understand what I mean. And one for Jenny and the Wimp. Well, I hope it's safe for you to do so, Clint, and if so, I hope you have a good time. That goes back that way. Okay, so this still took 9 turns to get here. I don't care. That's bullshit. I don't know what the key to killing that thing is, and I don't honestly care. Alright, let's turn the water wheel. Okay, so... we go the only way we can. And it's not just cleaning, it's people. It's actually raining right now. Okay, this is the only way that makes sense. That pushes outwards, which means we have to go right. And then this way. Forward. No. Where do we go? This might take a little while. I mean, we got time. Not like we're in a hurry. I'll figure this out. Take a different direction. That pushes outwards. This way. See where this goes. We can go that way, which we didn't, or that way, which leads to somewhere we did, so try this way. Okay, so this way. That gives us one direction to go. And we end up having made a convoluted circle that has served no purpose. That pushes out. That pushes out. Still not as bad as the temples in Final Fantasy X. He said, bearing a personal grudge against the temples in Final Fantasy X. Alright, so this pushes out. Pushes out. This is the only way to go. And this leads us in only one way we can go. I have to end up at the water pump. The trigger's gotta be to get to the water pump early enough that you can go somewhere with it. Yeah, I just didn't like the temples overall. I always dreaded them. I always dreaded that when we'd going into a temple, that we'd be doing another puzzle that just wasn't fun. Okay, what if the trick is head back through there? Okay, there are several options here. If we head back the way we came, that might work. Big concern really is that we take 9 turns to get to the pump. Or the gate, whatever you want to call it. We've only got 16 turns. Alright, let's do this. We got it. We've got this. We've got this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 2, 3, 4. There's no way to do it without it taking 9 turns. Not that I can see. Which means we're left with basically 6 turns to find the answer after that. Because we don't get a chance to do anything with that last turn. Alright. We'll still be here in this water maze when you get back. We'll die here. Take the turn. Take this turn. 2, 3. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute. Four. We go this way, we do it in 6 instead of 9. I think that works out. Oh no, not Fornius. Anyway. Yeah, we do it this way, we get there in 6 instead of 9.
Okay, you asked for it.
Fastest way we can do it. And that leaves us with extra turns. And also a possible idea of what direction to go. Of course, knowing that the extra turns are there opens up more possibilities of which direction may be right. So there's that to consider. We can head up there and see where this leads. Or we could head back here and see what's up this area. Let's go with the first one. Where will the drain take us? Halfway there. Welcome back, man. We managed to get to the pump in 6 turns. It was amazing. Huge revelation, it changed everything. I mean, it didn't, it hasn't changed anything yet, we're still working on it. We try this route, see if this takes us anywhere, now that we have the extra turns to spare. Possibility this will still be a waste of time in this direction. It keeps sending Fornius after me, it's not a big threat. Okay. Anyway, this direction. What was over here? Didn't get to see before. Probably going to be underwhelming. It's a dead end. Oh, that was a waste of time. Oh, Christmas live. Nice. You playing Devil May Cry again? He is playing Devil May Cry again. I hope it goes well for him. Seems to be enjoying it last night. Alright, 6 turns. The inside of these battles getting drawn out for you. Anyway, where were we? I think I've got this figured out. In this direction. Then we head forward. We take the left. And we head forward. We take the left. We're pumping 6 turns. It's all good. And now my thought is we need to head back up here. This has to be the goal. Because that doesn't get us anywhere. It's either up here or here. Both of these are pushing outward, which means we have to go this way. We'll take the left this time. The vote for the next blind playthrough ends when I eventually finish Project Zero. It's taken a while because I honestly, like tonight, I just couldn't be bothered playing Project Zero. It's the combat. The combat is terrible. Plus, it requires a lot of focus, and I wasn't ready to give that much focus tonight. One of those things like I was debating like postponing tonight's stream. Ended up starting a bit later for outside reasons. Like in the end, I just didn't want to do Project Zero tonight. We'll get back to it. We'll finish it. But while I wasn't in the mood, I thought it'd just be a better idea to do Digital Devil Saga. Yeah, let's try that. That's closer. Yeah, show does go on. Seeing where this takes us. Pretty far. It's an exit. Nice. Yeah, we'll be back. We will be back to Project Zero. This better be good. The red key. Nice. Yeah, we'll be back to Project Zero. Like I said previously, like, I feel like the game probably would have been scarier if I stuck it on easy. As I said when we did the second night, and the combat started ramping up and becoming more of a thing. Like, the frustration of the combat really diminishes the horror. And it'd probably be scarier if we didn't have to worry about that. Like, whenever the horror gets going, taken out of it by the combat. I don't know, maybe it won't have that desired effect. Maybe it will still be kind of because now the combat isn't as annoying, it's just easier. But who knows? I did actually make a check through my collection. I do have Project Zero 2 on the Wii. I have the Wii remake, and I do have Maiden of Blackwater. So maybe we'll eventually get to those. I don't know. I've heard 2 is the scariest, but whether or not the remake is scarier is scary. Because the remake also has the RE4 style camera that was added to the series in Project Zero 4. And who knows what else it has. Maybe you get to move the flashlight with the Wiimote. If you ever played Silent Hill Shattered Memories on Wii, that's like one of my favourite little features of it. Like, the game uses the Wiimote as a pointer a bunch, and when you're just out and about, it straight up uses the Wiimote pointer for the torch. And it's a really nice touch. It doesn't even really mean anything. It's just a nice touch, I think. And there. And do the ma. And then just punch them. With the blades that are built into your body. Body blade. This doesn't really... Oh shit, wait, does it? Just gonna send me back to where I came and not the actual entrance? That'll be concerning. How bad is it? Sends us back to the actual entrance. Okay. We got the red key. The red key can be pretty useful. Oh no! A bird. Yes! I thought Downpour was a better game than Homecoming. But it's still not that great. It has interesting ideas, but its most interesting thoughts are kind of too wrapped up in trying to be Silent Hill 2. And that kind of brings it down, I feel. I think you've got Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 has a lot of problems. But it is an interesting game and it's worth playing if you can get it. Gameplay-wise, story-wise, I've been after picking it up again because it's backwards compatible on Xbox One. If you're into Silent Hill, I'd say check it out. You can do worse. You can do Homecoming. Outside of the original 4, I think Shattered Memories is probably the best Silent Hill game, but that carries several caveats. It's not scary. It's not really Silent Hill. And so if you want a case of a Silent Hill game that is Silent Hill, Origins is probably the best. But like, you try and pick up a PS2 copy of Origins. See how well that goes for you. Homecoming, I think, is just actually shit. It also doesn't run well. Like, it's got serious frame rate issues, and technical glitches, visual issues. It's not a great game, and it's very dependent on the movie for a lot of what it does. Like, visually and thematically. Ooh, save terminal. Mantras for everybody. Slifer the Sky Dragon. We need to get around to doing that Yu-Gi-Oh! Stream. One day I'll remember it when I'm setting up and we'll just do Yu-Gi-Oh! For a bit. I guess we need those. Yeah, if you're interested, I'd say you can do worse than Downpour. The problem is going to be how much it'll cost you. But there is the point that Downpour is also the only one that isn't currently in my collection. I did manage to pick up Homecoming again, but I've not seen Downpour on 360 in the wild in a while. Let me look into this real quick. See what it goes for on Amazon. Downpour on 360. Currently unavailable. $22.50. Jeez. I'm not paying that for a game I don't think was particularly amazing. Alright. Oh, maybe I'll see it out in the wild one day again. I'll pick it up. I'm pretty sure it's backwards compatible. Main reason why I own Homecoming again, because it's backwards compatible and maybe I'll do something with it one day. I find a lot of Silent Hill's designs to be tiring sometimes. Like the way areas are laid out and the way puzzles work. Well, that's worrying. We started going after the wolves as well. But I feel like Homecoming is probably like the worst of that. Plus, like, Homecoming and Downpour... Homecoming and Downpour both share the problem of... They try to be like Silent Hill 2 in the idea of Silent Hill 2 has the big twist, where something dark about your character is revealed, and it's the crux of the story. Downpour and Homecoming do something similar, but the difference is the twist of what your character did changes depending on how you've played the game. In Silent Hill 2, your character always did the same thing, and what came after that was about the difference in endings and stuff was about what you did after that. 3's really good. I think 3 is worth checking out again. It's kind of underrated in regards to like the rest of the series, but 3's really good. I think its biggest problem is it's tied to the first game and the cult storyline. But I think on its own, and as a sequel to one story, it does work really well. It's not the abstract monster of 2, but it is still a really solid horror game. But yeah, no, the Downpour and Homecoming both have the whole thing of Shakespeare. Downpour and Homecoming both have the problem of that solved absolutely nothing. There's a lot of foreshadowing and symbolism in both, and in Homecoming most of it's crap. In Downpour some of it's kind of good. But it all ties into the twist, and the twist changes depending on how you've played your game. At which point, the foreshadowing, the symbolism, the build-up may not work because of that. And it's a problem between both Downpour and Homecoming. Like, without actually spoiling what the stuff is, it's a problem both games have. I'm going back to that. So when not in battle, replace Iron Stomach with Mutual Karma. But when in battle, replace Mutual Karma with Iron Stomach. Gotta remember that. Yeah, it's the biggest problem with it. Because Downpour has good ideas. Some of its execution is kind of sloppy. Its monster design isn't particularly great. It has like maybe 2 monsters that are actually kind of well designed. That might be Homecoming, I might be getting too confused. Homecoming has like 2. Oh. But like, a lot of it falls down, especially at the end. There's an interesting twist, but then there's also questions that are raised during the game. What's going on? Stuff that isn't answered. And there's a whole thing with Homecoming of it tries to tie into the cult thing again, but also be separate, which is kind of weird. Oh, there's a separate cult in Silent Hill for some reason that's actually unrelated to the cult from the first game and the third game. It's kind of a mess. I'd say it's worth checking out if you're a Silent Hill fan desperate for some more Silent Hill. You can do worse. But if you're content with what you've already got and you don't really feel the need for more, you don't really need to bother. Homecoming isn't going to blow the world open for you. It's not going to make you think suddenly this was fantastic and we need more of it. God damn it. Alright, now kill it. There we go. Eat it? Damn. Everybody gets the karma. Yeah, it's like you said you started to lose interest from 3 onwards. If you never did 4, I'd recommend 4 over Homecoming. Bear in mind, 4 has seriously problematic gameplay, but its story is really good. And if you can play it with combat, I think by 4 they started the combat difficulty and puzzle difficulty being separate. I think they started that in 3? Or was that 2? Fuck, I can't remember where it started. But it was definitely a thing by 4. And, like, play 4 with its combat difficulty on its lowest setting. And try and have as good a time as you can. Like I say, 4 has really good ideas. Just gameplay. And the fact that a significant amount of the game, is like 60% or so of the game, is an escort mission, and it's not a Resident Evil 4 escort mission. And there's also the fact that how well you perform in the escort mission is tied into what ending you get. So I'm afraid of that. We've been in these subs for hours. I remember that. That was the dead end with the rare item over there. I was like, why is there a save point at a dead end? Now that sells for a lot, because this was a lot of sidetracking just for that. I think Silent Hill 4 creates an interesting comparison point with Origins, because Origins definitely plays better, though it has problems of its own with gameplay. Particularly the fact that you pick up weapons and the weapons will break so fast. So generally what you'll end up doing is picking up TVs because they hurt when you throw them. You'll just carry like 15 TVs around and throw them at bosses, and that'll be your entire strategy for combat. It's kind of cruel giving a pixie that kind of firepower and nothing to actually use it with. But yeah, So Origins, like, you'll end up just carrying TVs and throwing them at bosses. That'll be your entire strategy. You'll ignore everything else. Because what's the point in fighting anything else? All your weapons will break when you fight them. Like, his gameplay is better than 4, but its story is so much weaker. And I think it's kind of an interesting comparison. I think Origin might be the last one that was developed by Team Silent, though. No, it wasn't. Origin was Western developed. I forgot about that. Is that Climax? It might have been Climax. I think the 3 studios that developed. Yeah, it was 3. I'm pretty sure it was Climax, Double Helix, and Vatra. I have blue, don't I? It's been that long since we've had to do a blue wall, I completely forgot. Were there any other blue walls that I ignored because I forgot that I had the ability to break them? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, like, Silent Hill 4 is worth checking out. Here's a stupid thing for you. The Silent Hill HD collection on Xbox 360 is backwards compatible on Xbox One. And I'm sure everybody is aware of the problems with the Silent Hill HD collection. It's worth noting a bunch of it was patched on PS3, not on Xbox. And so you've got the worst version of the worst version of these games playable on current gen, and it's the only way to play these games on current gen. Unless you're going to go out of your way and pick up the PC copy of Silent Hill 2 and then put them... There was a recent fan patch mod that was put out for it that fixes a lot of its problems and makes it playable on modern systems and stuff. But I wouldn't even say that's like playable on a modern system. Not in the same way. The idea being, the idea of a remaster or a remake or anything like that being simplicity. It's going to take you a bunch of time and effort to pick up a copy of Silent Hill 2 on PC and then patch it with the fan patch that fixes stuff. It all comes down to the same thing. There's just no convenient way to play those games on modern systems. Except for the HD collection on Xbox One, which is like the worst way to play them. And there's also a case, there's a case of like, don't play them with the new voices. The new voices don't suit it. Don't work. Really don't. Yeah, I guess like in the end, getting back on the topic of the question, Downpour's alright. If you see it for a reasonable price, pick it up. It's not great, it's not horrible. You've probably played worse horror games. It's not scary, but, you know, what can you do about that? Somebody's close to maxing out the current mantra. No, they are. Alright, we're coming up on 3 hours, so what I'm going to do is hit the next save point, and we'll call it there. Two masters, but then heat is almost mastered as well. I better put both of those on before I forget. Ufula. Replace my Stonga. Zanma, replace Zan. That. Agila. Agila, replace Agi. That's that. Alright. And Heat is almost ready to learn Heaton. Like, you could argue, like, oh, Downpour's not scary. It's like, either of the old Silent Hills, because they're old and the graphics are bad. It's like, you know, I can go back to Silent Hill and within the first 10 minutes, Silent Hill 1 is creepy. It's creepy as fuck. He does really well with its atmosphere. And that's always what it is. It's not about graphics, it's about atmosphere. And you can do atmosphere with the low quality graphics. And they did atmosphere with the low quality graphics. I'll never accuse Silent Hill 1 of being my favourite anything, but that atmosphere is solid. There we go. Set that. Place that. Okay. Heal. And new mantras. Earth. Heal. Heal. Heal's probably the better one for now. What about you? Yeah, you can go with ice. And yellow. Yeah, no, you should learn better healing magic. Okay, and we're going to save and head to the next save point, and we'll call it there. A bunch of running around in like the last half hour, 45 minutes, I guess. We'll make a little bit of progress before we actually end. Hopefully. Okay, which way was progress? It was probably that way. There's a ladder there. Nothing there. That looks like a plot ladder. Ladder where we go up that ladder and plot happens. Probably gonna be a boss fight, isn't it? That'll be why there's a full heal terminal there. Oh, fuck off. We're all not happy about these revert magics. And then just keep hitting them till they're dead. Like that. Good work, CLM. 10 out of 10. Alright, up the plot ladder. What's happening?
This must be it.
Voiced plot. Wow, the tunnel behind us got a lot darker. Yeah, you lost your mind, didn't you, Looper? I mean, there's the visual indication of that right there with the lines.
Wait. It's not the same anymore.
Figured I'd have to fight you.
It's just like Janana. Sarah, can't you help him?
I don't think I can. It's too late. I can't do anything now.
Well, here we go. He was breathing fire, so I'm going to assume ice. It's not ice. Wind. Not wind, but that did less damage. He drains fire, don't do that again. Repels ice, so... that creates an interest, actually. Because Ice Repel stacked on him 3 times. He's each of the heads a separate target. Yes. Which suggests that each one may have a different weakness. Probably not. Whoa, might as well try it. Oh, I hate enemies that do status effects. I hate enemies that heal themselves. So Bufu has to hit something. Gives me an idea, actually. The one on the right took more damage from that. Alright. We got a strat. And throw another one out. And then throw a medkit down. Last medkit. I should probably have somebody have me mid-diorama. Troubling. Very troubling. Do we have anything else that will heal everybody? No. 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 Which means this turn is going to have to be dioramas for everybody. I need to just sit down and make sure somebody in the party has mid-diorama. I need to sit down and make sure Cielo actually has diorama. To be fair, the spot back there, not a bad place to go. Because it has the full heal area. Okay. Keep dunking on that guy. $140, $126. $121. About 380 damage per. And it can't heal that. Alright. If necessary though, we'll take a death here and come into this fight knowing exactly what we're dealing with. And have fire drain. Somebody's got fire drain. We might all have fire drain. Most of us have fire drain. because it comes with Aguilar. Shit. And he's still got another turn. Maragion? Okay, I'm gonna throw down a revival bead. I'm sorry, a revival gem. And then Gale is gonna heal Cielo. Bufu. Interesting. The heads do have separate health. We take out the left head. The left head is the one that's doing healing. Like that. But it's never healing itself, thankfully. So we take out the left head, we cut out the healing. We take out the right head, we cut out the stat buffs and debuffs. And that leaves the attack. And I think we can deal with the attack head. It's not a clean victory, but it's a victory. As long as nothing goes wrong. And that's if the heads will work this way, actually. If we can take out heads individually. No. Come on, come on. Oh, thank God. Okay, Gale. And Gale heals Cielo. And then Cielo has Bufalo, so we'll use that. Yeah, there it is, he's lost one of his heads. That's a game over. Well, there is a place to call it tonight. But we're totally ready for the fight next time, definitely. I'm surprised it's taken this long for me to die to a boss fight and need to think, use strategy. Or use preparation. Because that's a very common thing in Shin Megami Tensei. For the first run against a boss to be essentially a trial run to figure out what the boss is going to do, and then go into it prepared to negate everything. So in fact, while I'm here, let me throw down some abilities that will make this so much simpler. Okay, so I'm pretty sure Surf has Fire Drain. Void Fire. Fire Repel. Who has Fire Drain? Just somebody got it. No. Okay, so we have Fire. We have Fire Repel. That'll work. Throw that on Consume. And then that covers basically everything. Throw down one of those per turn. That negates the entire possibility of the boss getting another turn. Because it was getting another turn because we're weak to fire. So that was hitting a weakness. Bam, extra turn. But that is going to do it for tonight. I want to thank everybody who joined the stream. I always really appreciate the support. Big special thank you to everybody who joined the chat. To Bane, Clem, Mr. Charisma, and Teak. Thanks all for joining. Chat is what keeps the stream alive. We're back on Thursday, hopefully at 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time. Maybe with Project Zero, maybe I'll do more of this. I don't know. But in the meantime, thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day, and I'll catch you next time. Take care, guys.